Kentucky is history. Kentucky is
explorers, pioneers, inventors.
Peaceful, delicious.
From Lincoln to Ali, Kentucky is impactful.
Kentucky is beautiful, magnificent.
Kentucky is hopeful.
It's this 120 county region that has incredible stories that have had an impact on the world. From the people to the culture, it's all here. All the people that make this state what it is. There is literally no better place to start your Kentucky experience. What is the Frazier History Museum? We are where the world meets Kentucky.
It's like a gateway to the rest of the state. They see the state parks, the cool 120 counties exhibits, the Underground Railroad. It's the first stop on the Bourbon Trail, but yet it's the first stop of many for other areas of interest that they might have. They're covering folks that are writers, that are involved in science, that are involved in the food scene, and of course, bourbon. All of those things that are part of Kentucky's cultural heritage that help us tell our story.
And that's the common thread. We tell stories that last a long time, and we tell stories that make people feel something. And when you make people feel something, they're more engaged, they're more interested in learning more and taking that next step. We feel great pride in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
The fact that the Frazier draws 100,000 people through its doors, they see all that so many Kentuckians have produced.
Let's talk about the fundamentals of Kentucky bourbon. The natural resources of Kentucky that make bourbon so unique, the limestone water, the soil, the white oak. Kentucky bourbon and celebration go hand in hand. Bourbon has brought people together, and the Frazier helps illustrate that.
I must confess, this museum is kind of like walking into the Smithsonian. You really feel like you're a part of these displays. The community should be very proud of knowing this museum is the carekeeper of all of these things. If they hadn't put them together, where would we have seen it?
One thing we pride ourselves on is lifelong learning. Not just within these walls, but outside of these walls to all age groups. You can't be the Frazier History Museum without community input. Storytelling is at the core of everything. But I think it's the people you can bring in. What is their perspective? What is their voice? How do they help tell the story to make it compelling? Those relationships have just elevated us in every sense of the word.
Buses, before, trains.
I always say, let no one tell your story. You tell your story. Some museums want to gloss over slavery, and you can't gloss over it. I think the museum does a great job of supporting the aspect of telling the truth and getting to the root of the story. That's what impacts the world when you tell the truth.
I think it's a fact that all museums have to change, right? They have to evolve. You have to expand who you're speaking to as a museum. We're all about the preservation, yes, but the presentation of history. It's important for us to present it as many ways as we can throughout the community. When Mr. Frazier started this museum, what he said was, by reconnecting with our past, we can renew a sense of who we are, what we stand for, and where we're headed.
Grandpa's whole thing was about education. If he walked in through the front doors today, he would be ecstatically proud of how far this museum has come.
I believe that the Frazier is going to be recognized as redefining what history museums do. Watching this team find ways of doing things that nobody thought of before is very exciting. And that tells me that this institution will be around for a very long time.
This is for people who want to have a great time and learn what makes this Commonwealth so special. I mean, this is a diverse state. It always has been. The Commonwealth history isn't changing. That's who we are. It's for the people. It's for the public. The Frazier is for all of Kentucky.